Hello and welcome to a new training session called Prospecting Best Practices. This session is designed to talk more about how to discover a prospect, how to talk to them about the features and benefits. We work on an elevator pitch. We just talk in general on how to determine if your client is a good fit for our services. We have additional training that dives much deeper on individual products, but this one is focused on just prospecting. So let's get started. As you know, your agency helps merchants of all kinds with a variety of solutions. And that can start with the basics, the foundational needs that merchants have today, their website, making sure their data is correct on Google, helping them with their reputation. We also help businesses tell their story via content marketing. And content marketing is a phrase that really encompasses everything from social media, blogs, email, video, all the tools we have to help the merchant educate prospects. And finally, we can help them find new customers, as you know, with a variety of target marketing. So let's look at ways that you can identify prospects for each of these categories. Basically, out there in the world, as we see it, and we go on calls all over the United States with our different partners, we see three types of prospects. The first kind are the ones that need just the basics, the foundational needs of a merchant in business today. They need help with their visibility. Their website is out of date. It's not mobile friendly. You can't find them in search. They haven't done things like claim their Google business listings. They may even have a whole bunch of bad reviews out there that they've never replied to. For a merchant like this, I say, folks, hey, it's 2019, right? This is like having your electricity turned on and your phone bill paid. You have to have these basic digital requirements handled because this is how consumers are going to find you. Now, you may have somebody with a great website, but who knows, they're first on Google, but you find out they have no social media strategy. They don't have a presence, or they have a page with few fans. They post infrequently, and they probably don't have the time or skill to do it correctly, and they're not aware of all the changes at Facebook. So you're going to run into these folks, and we're going to show you how to identify them. And finally, you're going to have the ones that have all the critical things already handled. Great website, they're serious about social media, and now they want traffic. They want to drive bodies to their website. And as you know, we have a wide variety of options there. So we're going to talk about how to get clients excited about digital marketing. So quick review, as you know, Google is the new Yellow Pages. If we have a question, we ask Google. We do a search, and they have a dominant share of the market. In fact, when you look at all the different types of apps, besides Google, it's also Facebook. And here are all the properties that Google owns on this list. And you can see, of course, YouTube, Gmail, Google Maps. Of course, we're using that. And of course, YouTube. Then you look at Facebook. And they also own Messenger, of course. They own Instagram. So these guys, almost all of the top 10 apps are one of these two companies. So the thing that merchants have to realize is if they're not mobile friendly, they are, of course, missing a real opportunity. 76% of the time when we do a mobile search, we end up doing business with a related business within a day. 28% of the time, that's going to result in a purchase. So this brings it all home for the merchant. This is why you need to be ready for the mobile consumer. If you're not, you're missing out on revenue. So just a quick reminder, the key benefits of smartphone friendly sites certainly are customer friendly, right? You want to make your site easy to navigate. That's just common sense, right? Somebody finds you, they want to look at you, they're on their smartphone, and the site has to load fast and it has to be easy to navigate. We've all been on those sites where you have to pinch the screen, you can't click on the links, the phone isn't linked. Many consumers want to just get a phone number and make a call. They're not going to punch the number in, they're going to click on the little button that makes the phone ring. So these are all the basics. And then certainly from Google's perspective, they're now penalizing sites that aren't smartphone friendly. So again, make Google happy, make your potential customer happy, and if not, Google is going to rank others ahead of you. So we've talked about the mobile friendly test. You just Google the words mobile friendly test. You can paste your customer's website in there and check it out yourself. So we've talked about this audit before. And before you even have a conversation with a merchant, you want to make sure that you've done your homework. You want to know as much about their business as you can. And the good news is a lot of this information is out there on the web for everybody to see. So the first thing you do is just check them on Google, do a search by their best keywords. Don't look them up by business name, and find out where they rank and who are their big competitors and where do they rank. Search for them as if you were a consumer who didn't know their name. So we're going to talk in a minute about how to tell if they've claimed their Google business listing. That's a dead giveaway that they're not paying attention to the key basics. So while you're there, go ahead and click on over to their website, provided you can find them, and take a look at it. You know, is it mobile friendly? Does it load quickly? Is it up to date? Is there outdated information? You know, do they still have a picture of Santa Claus on the homepage? You know, these are the ones that are telling us they have a site that they can't update, they can't keep it fresh, or they just don't care and don't have the time. Finally, while you're there, click on over. Usually they have their little Facebook icon on their website. Click on over to their Facebook page and take a look. Do they have a lot of fans? Are they posting regularly? That's the key thing. Are fans interacting? Are they sharing, commenting, liking, loving their posts? So this is just a real quick way, literally in a couple minutes, you can tell the situation your client is in. So on the call, of course, you're going to have a general needs analysis discussion that's going to include some of the things you discovered on your pre-call homework. But the first thing you're going to talk to them about is, in general, how's business? You know, I don't care what you're selling, print, radio, digital, TV, whatever it might be. You need to know these questions, the answers to these questions, before you talk to them about any kind of advertising. So how's the year going? What are they selling a lot of? Who are their competitors? Who are their best customers? Where do they live? How often do they shop? You want to just have that conversation anyway. And when the conversation turns to how do you get new customers, how are you finding them, you ask them, what role does your website play in helping you get new customers? So a nice direct question, open-ended question, let them answer that. Now, if they start to talk about, well, our website really doesn't do much for us, that's a great time for you to chime in and say, well, I did notice it's not mobile friendly, or I did notice I couldn't find it when I Googled your business. So those are a great segue to talk about that situation. However, perhaps the merchant has a great website. Maybe it's #1 on Google. So you want to congratulate them for that. You want to say, hey, great job with that site. You're ranking highly. Tell me about your social media strategy. You know, I noticed when I visited your Facebook page, you hadn't posted in over 3 weeks. And whether that's true or not, obviously, you're going to want to find out that before you say it. But the point is, if they're doing great on Google and they have a great site, don't spend a lot of time there. Clearly, this is a customer that believes in digital. They've taken the time and spent the money to get a great site. Talk to them about social. But they may say, and you may have noticed, hey, we're doing great. I've got a full-time person here. They post every day, 3 times a day. They shoot videos in the store. You know, they're clearly on top of their social strategy. So the conversation may be, hey, I noticed you're kicking butt with a great website. Your social media strategy looks great, lots of interaction. What would you think about getting even more traffic to your website? Because we have some digital targeting programs that could really help. And so it's just a way to go through each of the areas that we might be able to help them. And of course, you're going to know the answers to most of these questions before you ever set foot in their store. So quickly, if they do have a website need, of course, we build smartphone friendly sites. They're optimized for search to avoid those Google penalties. As you know, our lead machine sites have a variety of lead tools to capture that inbound lead, to turn a site visitor into a customer. We have a design gallery. You can see plenty of website ideas there. We have a built-in CRM, a data manager, a database manager that is part of the lead machine merchant dashboard. So they can not only collect leads, but now we allow them to push emails out to their customers right from the dashboard. Of course, hosting and maintenance are included, and many folks will bundle this with SEO and social. So just a quick overview of the web product. And again, with customer cooperation and we get all the collateral needed, we can build these sites pretty quickly. So here's a quick snapshot of a typical Lead Machine site, and you can see appointment calendar, quote request, there's interactive coupons, we have a little slide up box that pops up, and before they leave the page, they get a little pop-up that gets one more shot at converting that visitor. So again, any website these days, is probably going to be mobile friendly, and there's a lot of designers out there who create pretty sites. But are they building a site that's going to get found in search, and is it going to turn inbound visitors into leads? And those are really the two key benefits of our sites over a lot of other ones on the market. So you're on the call, and you're going to, talk about those questions. Again, here are a few. What role does your site play in generating new business? Are your customers able to easily navigate your site on their phone? And you can often do that with them in their store, with your phone in your hand, and show them what they may be missing. A lot of businesses have a little office tucked in the back of their business. They've got an old PC they're on, and they've looked up their website 100 times. And so, of course, when they're searching their name, they're always showing up at the top of Google. And many businesses feel like that's how it looks for consumers. So it's always eye-opening to do that search right there in front of them on your phone, which may give a completely different search result. And of course, their site may not even look good on a small screen. You want to ask, are people able to find you on Google? I did a keyword search and I noticed that, one of your competitors is way above you in the search. And I know you guys go head to head all the time. Most business owners are very competitive. So when they hear that, they're going to want to know how they can compete with one of their biggest competitive companies. And sometimes it's just a wide open-ended question. Are you pleased with the overall look and feel of your site? Sometimes websites are like new cars. Every 3 years you want a new one. You're tired of what you've been driving. The site may be fine, but they're ready for something new, and they're ready for something that maybe is a better reflection of their business. So it never hurts to ask that question. And finally, is their site easy to update? Can they maintain it? These days, if you can type, if you can hunt and peck and cut and paste, you should be able to update your own website. And of course, all the sites we build are built for DIY. Now, 80% of folks don't want a DIY, and that's why we have maintenance plans. But the point is, if they have to just to make a simple change in their site, they get a big bill from their web developer. We can end all those types of costs. So price is typically the biggest objection you're going to get, just like selling anything, right? People are going to say, well, I can get a cheap site on GoDaddy, or I heard about this thing called Wix, and I think those sites are really cheap. Why does your site cost more? And it is cliche, but you do get what you pay for. A lot of those really cheap sites are DIY. These are sites that you have to do on your own. And if a merchant could DIY a website, they probably already would have tried it. So a lot of these folks aren't technically savvy, and even though they're designed to be simple to build, it's a lot tougher than you think. Will it be optimized? So these DIY sites also need to be search optimized. And again, that's something that most merchants haven't a clue about. So they may be able to build a pretty site, but is it going to get found in search? And again, do they have the experience to do this? Do they know how to maintain it? If they are using another developer, is there cost? How much does it cost to do updates after the site goes live? And will someone like you come out to see them? Do they have a local market contact, or do they have to submit a trouble ticket and cross their fingers that somebody maybe somewhere on another part of the globe working in a time zone 7 time zones away is going to make those changes? And often it's comparing to their competition. You could get a cheap site, but I noticed your competitor has a pretty nice site. And again, most merchants want to be able to keep up with their main competitors. So like your mom always said, you only get one chance to make a great first impression. We want to help our merchants make that impression. Lots of these DIY sites are really loss leaders. So even though you might get your $9.99 site, it's really just setting you up for these guys to constantly be trying to sell you something. So bundled with the web package, typically is SEO, a search optimization package. So beyond the optimization we do to their site, we want to help them get found with optimized business listings. And our packages range from 20 to 50 listings optimized for all the top sites. Beyond Google, we're talking Apple Maps, Bing, Yahoo, YP.com, OnStar, TripAdvisor. So some really key sites for merchants. We're also going to go into their Google business listing at least once a month and post an update. So this isn't optimizing their listing one time. This is continual optimization of their Google business listing, arguably the most important. I don't think it's an argument, actually. Google with 87% share. I mean, we're going to go in there and update it at least once a month, and with the premium package every week. We're also going to write blog articles. Again, these can be monthly or quarterly, and these are going to be articles we add to their website, or we post, we give to them to post on their site or to set up on Google Blogger. So keyword-rich articles written about their most important products or services is going to help them get found, whether that's sitting on their website or out there on a Google blog. We're going to monitor their reputation. Many merchants consider this their most important asset, so we're going to safeguard that, and we're going to let them know when they have a new review. Many of our partners are lately adding videos to this package, and when we spread a video, the cost of video out across the year, getting a new video quarterly is a great additional value for not a lot of extra money per month. In fact, some partners are selling this package for $249 a month, including the video. So consult with your manager, consult with your sales director, and double check the pricing on that. But the video is great because we can add it to their website, we can post it to their business listing, and we can get a lot of extra miles out of that video. That video is theirs to keep, and we're going to give them a video on an MP4 file, so it's something they can use beyond just for use on their website or on Google. So here's what this package looks like when it comes together. Remember, there's two components to a web and SEO package. There's the cost of the website design, that upfront fee they pay to get a new site design, and that's often based on a per page price or a custom quote, depending on how complex the programming is. And then we bundle in the SEO piece. So really, for many merchants, when they add the SEO with the hosting, they're under $300 a month. They're getting a great SEO package, and based on the site design upfront fee, they could have their whole web presence completely redesigned for a really affordable price. So let's shift gears and talk about social. As you know, our friends at Facebook are the 800-pound gorilla, even though their traffic has flattened out. And actually, when you think about YouTube, slightly ahead of our friends at Facebook with 73% share. So we are watching a lot of videos. We're spending a lot of time on Facebook. You may see Instagram down there, and Instagram is actually the fastest growing channel. We saw them top 1 billion users at the end of 2018. So when we put programs together for your clients, we're thinking about those channels. But as you can see, and again, why this makes sense to have that mobile-friendly website, most of our social media activity is going to be on mobile devices. So if somebody is lucky, if a merchant is lucky enough to be found on Facebook and a consumer wants to learn more, they're probably on their mobile device and they're going to click through to that merchant's site. So it's important that they're ready for that inbound traffic. So the thing that most merchants don't realize is the changes in the Facebook algorithms mean that their posts are simply not getting seen. Unless you're paying to play, unless you're boosting or buying marketing, your reach of your fan base has been greatly diminished. Some attribute a basic post without boosting is probably reaching 10, maybe 15% of your fan base. So merchants, the formula for merchants is a combination of time, skill, and money. They have to have the time to post. They have to have the skill to create good content. They can't just slap up any old photo. They have to think about what they're doing, and they have to spend a little money. And even if it's a few bucks a week to boost, that's going to help them reach that existing fan base that many of them work so hard to build. Those followers they attracted to their page, now they want to keep that momentum going. And certainly on the target marketing side, there's a lot of things we can do there. So the best practices for selling content are, again, doing that research. We're going to take a look at exactly what to look for on their social media pages to tell if they need help. There's so many moving parts. We've identified 3 key benefits to discuss, and offering the right bundle. And we have several social media packages. We can also create a custom program. But creating that engaging content, which our team will do, is key, and we're going to explain what that looks like. And finally, focusing on the most important categories and being able to talk about ROI. So before you go on a call, check out their page. How often are they posting? How many followers do they have? You know the business. You know if they've been around a long time. Are they an important business in your town? Why do they only have 132 followers? A lot of businesses have neglected social, and it shows in the amount of people that follow them. What kind of engagement are they getting? If they are posting, are people liking, loving, sharing, commenting on their posts? And we're also going to look at their business page. Have they fully completed their Facebook business page? And finally, are they buying in ads? So when you're prospecting for social, here's a quick way to tell, again, in 30 seconds really, what they're doing with their social presence. So the first thing you're going to look at is frequency of posts. When was the last time they posted, and what is the time between posts? Our friends at Facebook date stamp every post so you can see exactly when it went up. And someone who's not posting several times a week is really not following best practices. These days, Facebook emphasizes quality over quantity, not just to flood your Facebook feed with posts that people don't care about, but rather posting information that is valuable. Also, you want to click and see what kind of ads they're running. They've added this info and ads button, and that'll tell you if they're buying boosted posts or sponsored posts. Over here, check out their number of followers, and this is actually a decent number, over 3,000. But if you see a business again struggling with less than 200, less than 300 fans, that's not a good thing. Click on their About Us section and see if they filled out all this information. This actually can help them even with their SEO. Facebook allows over 250 characters in that About section, so you can really put a good business description in there, which is going to help. Quality of their cover photo, is it a good crisp picture? And so these are the things you want to look for that are going to tell you whether or not they're engaged with their fans. So on the call itself, you're really going to drill down on 3 key benefits. Number 1, you're going to talk about the power of social media for driving repeat business. Remember, in most business scenarios, 20% or 80% of your profits come from 20% of your clients. So you're going to want to get in front of those most loyal customers more often. That's what social media, email, those types of products are great for. You're also going to want to target. So whether that's boosting, and all of our packages include a weekly boost, or buying Facebook marketing or social marketing, it's going to help them get new customers, which, as you know, are the lifeblood of any business. Either they're adding new customers or their business is starting to die, because every business has a natural amount of churn. And finally, and maybe one of the biggest things, is the time savings. Our team is going to save them a ton of time as we do the work for the merchant. So our main packages include a combination of Facebook and Instagram, and while we're creating this content, of course, we're posting over on Google. So if they add that to their package. Facebook and Instagram are very complementary channels, in that Facebook tends to skew a little older in their demographics these days. You may have read that a lot of the teens and millennials are leaving Facebook, but you can find many of them over on Instagram. So it's really a good combination. So one of our most popular packages is this 20 posts per month. So we're going to be posting to Google. We're going to be posting every week, and we're going to be posting to Facebook and Instagram, and having that weekly boost. So this again, this isn't a deep dive on product, but this is a really good program for getting that merchant a consistent, professional, strategic presence in social media, and we're going to talk to them monthly to find out what's new in their business so that we keep those posts local and relevant. So our team is constantly educating themselves on best practices for content. And we've always followed the rule of three, which is positioning that merchant as an expert, helping them establish community, talking about all the things they're doing in their community, and finally, promotional. So we really want to mix up that content and not always post just one promotion after the other. That's a good way for consumers to tune you out if you're not educating and in some ways entertaining them. So the best categories for social, home services always seems to rise to the top, and probably because these guys are out on the road all day. They're working in their trucks, and they're not able to keep up with social. Retail, restaurants, auto, you can see the rest of the list. So the key thing with these guys is really emphasizing to them that we're going to help them succeed because they're going to stay involved. Now, they're not going to do the work, they're not going to write the content, but we need their help a few minutes a month, just pointing us in the right direction on what they would like us to write about. So we're going to emphasize that on the kickoff call and ongoing every month. It's key that the decision maker stays involved. We've seen many times where the boss says yes, and then he delegates it to somebody else in the company. And unfortunately, sometimes he loses interest, and the sale gets a little shaky. Not to mention that the other person that's been delegated to isn't as invested in it and perhaps doesn't know what the boss would like them to talk about. So you're our eyes and ears. So when you're in the business, when you're on location, make sure you're feeding us information that you may notice. Who knows? Maybe they have a new product they're offering. Maybe there's an event they're participating in. Share your print ads with us. Share your radio scripts. Whatever's going on in that business, we love that information because it helps us post better content. Finally, like your advertiser, follow them in social media, and you'll get a sense of what we're doing for them, and it will help you as you're able to talk with them about their strategy. So just like with web, many merchants are going to ask about the return on investment for social. Why would I pay money for this? Isn't Facebook free? And so you really need to help them envision and understand the value, right? So the power of repeat, more repeat business. What if your existing customers shopped with you more often? Imagine if your happiest customers could tell all their friends, and that power of the referral. Facebook, and social media is word of mouth on steroids, that referral power when things go viral. Help them to understand what is your average customer worth. If we can bring in new customers with this program, what's that going to mean to your business? What's their lifetime value? And creating a valuable asset for their business. When they have a huge social following, maybe they have a big email list, maybe they have a large following for their website. All of that is a great asset for them. But making it easy for customers to stay in touch, and really one of the biggest ROIs is, again, saving them time. What is your time worth, Mr. Merchant? If we do this program for you and it's $400 or $500 a month, they can't hire an intern for that, and it's really freeing them up to do a lot of things that they're good at in their business. All right, this last segment we're going to talk about is marketing. And these are for the guys that have a great website. They're ready for traffic, right? We don't want to send clients to a bad web experience. These are your medium to large clients who understand the value of target marketing and marketing their business in general. They're looking for new customers. And so the beauty of this kind of targeting is we're leveraging consumer intent. We know what humans are interested in buying, what they're in the market for based on their activity, the keywords they search, their physical location, using mobile geofencing to geofence a location for them. So, the example, of course, everyone uses is car dealers. If I sell Mercedes-Benz, I want to serve ads to people who've been to the Lexus dealership, that have been to the BMW dealership. So it just makes sense. When someone is standing on a car dealer's lot, they very likely are in the market to buy a car. And knowing that information, merchants want to be able to serve ads to those potential prospects. And finally, the behavior and interest. What articles are they reading? What are they liking in social media? All of that is a good giveaway to the things that they're interested in. Over on the data side, Many merchants have valuable data they're not using. The data from their website, their different segments of their site that people visit. Let's use a furniture store, for example. I sell mattresses, living room furniture, I sell dining room sets. When someone is on my site and they're looking at the dining room section, guess what? They want to buy a dining room set. So we can retarget those visitors differently than we would target people who are looking at mattresses. So it's all about using that data, building a profile, serving the right ad in web and social media, and also finding lookalikes. Our lookalike targeting can find other consumers who match the profile of those site visitors but haven't been to our client's site yet. So lookalike targeting is a hot seller right now, and again, it's using that data that a merchant is gathering on their website. Many of them aren't using it. Over on email and postal, of course, we can do email marketing to their list. We can use the email data to look up social lookalikes. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn if they're B2B. If they have a CRM, they may have data in their CRM, especially if they're B2B, that we can pull that data out and use it to target on sites like LinkedIn. So there's a lot of opportunity with this data. Many businesses, let's say they have a QuickBooks and they have a whole bunch of email addresses in their QuickBooks database. Let's pull those emails out and put them to work. So this is just some of the things we can do with data, and the conversation we have with the merchant sounds something like this. Mr. Advertiser, if I could show you a way to get your business seen by people who are actively online, searching for your products, people who've looked for your competition or maybe even visited their store, or maybe they share common traits and look like your best customers. Perhaps they've already visited your website but left without converting. We can invite them back. Would that be of interest to you? And of course the answer is yes, because all of these things we just described are a consumer that's in the market, and we can help our clients target them. So of course we have a lot deeper dive on all those digital products, and we'll leave that for the digital marketing product training. But really, to sum up the key benefits, again, it reinforces the message, the traditional message, whether it was print, radio, TV, increasing frequency and awareness. It extends reach to new customers who may have not seen the traditional message. It reaches people in the market. It really helps them leverage that data they already have. Of course, it's highly measurable, and we're going to optimize those campaigns throughout. With the power of video, they can tell their story with sight, sound, and motion, growing their fan base, building a customer database. These are all things that we can help them do. Now, I'm going to take a minute to talk about the elevator pitch. That first 30 seconds when you're talking to your client to get their attention, to get them to agree to spend more time with you. Now, all of us, we all want to know that with them, right? What's in it for me? And that's what the merchant is listening to, because they're pitched all the time. So you want to quickly get to the point and tell them who you are and who you're with, the problem you're solving, the solution, that how you do it, and a wow statement if you can, whether it's getting them a great return on investment, saving them time, helping them get new customers. That's what merchants are listening for, because those are their pain points. And then you're not trying to close them with a 30-second pitch. You're trying to get a few minutes from them to explain in more detail. Now, of course, you've done your homework even before the elevator pitch comes out of your mouth, so you can craft this message around what you already know about that merchant. So here's an example. Hi, this is Daryl from ABC Digital. I've got some exciting news I wanted to share. We're expanding our digital services into web and social media. Our team will be focused on helping our clients find new customers and get their existing ones to shop more often. And we do this by maximizing a variety of channels, including Google and Facebook. The best part, it delivers great ROI, and it's 100% hands-free to you. We give you back valuable hours in your busy week. Now, if you have a few minutes, I'd like to ask you a few questions to see if this is a fit. And before my visit, I looked for you on my phone, and I happened to notice that your site isn't optimized for the smartphone. Have you ever looked at your website on your smartphone? Or you could say, before my visit, I happened to look you up, and I couldn't find you on Google. And I did notice that, your competitor down the street was listed #1. I imagine that's impacting traffic to your store. Or I checked out your Facebook page. I noticed you hadn't posted in several weeks. I know how much time it takes to keep up with that. Who's doing that for you? So you've done your research. You have an opening statement. This works on existing clients and cold calls. But the point is have a particular pain point that you've identified that you can talk to them about, and showing them that you've done a little homework in advance never hurts. So I'm not going to read all these to you, but this is something we'll have in the Resource Center. But it's just some more tips for prospecting, and really, having a good CRM, having a database where you're keeping track of this, doing your client pre-call research, which we've talked about, and that allows you to be relevant and specific. So when you do reach out to someone, you already know a little bit about their business versus these blind cold calls or blind emails that people get. You know, you can do a lot with email, and here's a few subject lines that get people to open those emails. We all see those, so you may want to use some of those in your email if that's your approach versus in person or using the phone. These days people get so many emails, that nothing face to face often or a phone call can really set you apart. Have success stories to share, preferably for people in their industry. We have lots of case studies you can look at. Think about the best times to reach out to your client. Know what their time zone is. Obviously, you're probably local in the same time zone, but try to get them right before lunch or before the end of the day, first thing in the morning. Use the phone. Again, phone is very much more effective. Be polite, be persistent. A lot of salespeople give up on the first try. Merchants, when they see you, when they hear you a few times, they realize there might be something here I need to listen to. So don't give up, and stick to your plan. Have your prospects and keep after them. And finally, I'll leave you with this sort of, how to make more money with digital. It's like the lottery. You can't win if you don't play. So make sure you're reaching out. You're talking to all your clients. I can guarantee you right now, they have a proposal from one of our competitors on their desk, and they've been putting it off because they don't know who this competitor is. They'd rather work with someone they know and trust. That would be you. So do your research, stock your pipeline, work with your digital team to get the best prospects. Make those sales calls every week. This isn't a would you like fries with that sale. Talk to all your clients. When you're doing a general needs analysis, present a holistic program that includes your traditional products and digital. And as clients say yes or no, put somebody new on the list. Build that recurring revenue. Well, I hope this has been helpful. How to prospect. Please check out some of the other training videos where we dive deeper into web, into SEO, into social, into target marketing. And if you have any questions, please shoot me a note. That's all for now. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.